What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, today I got some gameplay for you guys with the mini buck. I gotta say, this gun is just, in this game personally, insane. I mean, cracked in every possible way. You guys gotta go ahead and give it a go, especially if you haven't tried it already, which, honestly, I highly doubt. Everybody talks about this weapon, but seriously, if you haven't already, give it a go. But ladies and gentlemen, today I want to go ahead and put this video together because I wanted to personally experience the rank grind myself before I talked about this topic. Now, I was going to talk about it a little bit sooner because I heard that, it's capped at 250, but again, I wanted to try it for myself. I wanted to see what it was actually like. So again, I maxed out the rank. I got to level 250, and it's absolutely nothing. Now, of course, I believe it does unlock some extra challenges, so you can get calling cards, emblems, and stuff of that sort. But at the end of the day, the core reason that prestiging was so fun back in the day, honestly, is completely gone when it comes to Modern Warfare 2. Which, in my personal opinion, is really sad because Infinity Ward really bragged and boasted about how this prestige system was going to be drastically different. Now, to be honest with you, on paper, it looks identical to how, Vanguard and also Black Ops Cold War were. Yeah, it's no different. You hit a certain level, you get a new prestige icon. But again, they were hyping it up so much, saying, oh, yes, everybody's asking for prestige. Well, here you go, prestige. And with all honesty, it really is simply just a reskin of the previous system that we had in Black Ops Cold War, Modern Warfare 2019, and also Vanguard, where once again, you rank up to a certain level, you get a random emblem, and that is about it. Yeah, you get some challenges on the side to get emblems and calling cards, but like I said, the feeling that prestiging offers is taken out of the game. And they also didn't even bother bringing back level 1000. I don't know why they removed it. Again, it really confuses me why Call of Duty developers, they introduce really good concepts into Call of Duty games and then just completely strip them. Now, I'm not saying this is a really good concept because, in my personal opinion, adding back the classic prestige system will be a really good concept. But for the time being, as a little medium point, it wasn't too shabby, you would hit max level, and after that, you grind up to level 1000, for any of the more hardcore players out there, you don't have to stop, you don't have to feel like your progression is paused. Now, was it the same as classic prestiging? No, not at all, and again, we're going to talk about this a little bit further in the video, about what made it so special, but at the end of the day, it still gave hardcore Call of Duty players something to do, the casual players, they could say, oh, well, this season, it's only 5 prestiges, and the hardcore players could say, oh, it's 5 prestiges, but I'm not capped. I'm going to keep going. I'm hitting level 1000. And you can't do that in this game. It's completely stripped out of the experience. And now, personally, for me, the grindability of 6v6 is lacking tremendously right now. Basically, the level grind was what I was really depending on for my replayability factor while grinding out the multiplayer side of things. Because, let's be real here, next up for me is map variety. I love weapons, but I've already used them all across the board. I'm an AR SMG guy. I haven't really gone for camos. I'm planning on doing it later, but again, I don't want to rush the game. I don't want to get bored of the game. So I want to leave things for me to do since it's going to be, well, potentially going to be a 2-year project. So I want stuff to still be there. I don't want to just completely run through everything in the game. But again, like I said, one thing that I always relied on in the past that, would last the whole game for me personally was the level up system. And it's gone for me, So I have no maps to cycle through. Season 1 only brought in Shoot House so far. The next map up in rotation is Shipment, which won't be much better for me personally than Shoot House. Don't get me wrong. Once again, they're both fine maps, but they're so plain and basic, turn your brain off maps. I like maps that make me actually have to think, no more than just 2 spots to pre-aim my crosshair. I enjoy that. I just really love that stuff. It's more of a challenge. I was really hoping for something like Favela, Afghan. I know I always mention those maps, but how about Invasion? Invasion's one of my favorite. Wasteland, any of those maps. Mission for Modern Warfare 3, anything that has just a little bit more variety. And we don't have any of that. And on top of that, they took out Museum, so we already have less content that we even began with. It's really rough right now. And then, like I said, now on top of all that, 250 is the max level that you can even grind towards. It really seems that Warzone and DMZ are going to be the main experiences that you could play because in DMZ, rank, yeah, you can get XP for rank, but realistically, what you want to do is challenges. So those challenges are going to take you a long time. In order to get all your insurance slot weapons, you're going to have to get all of those challenges out of the way, basically get all of your factions to tier 3, which is going to take some time. It's going to take some progress. So I'm going to dabble in that. And of course, Warzone, it's kind of a new formula, not completely like Warzone 1, but, it's still Battle Royale. I think it's kind of fun. It's entertaining enough to give me a new, unique experience every single time that I drop in. But like I said, I'm a 6v6 guy. I can dabble in those games. I like extraction modes. I can still play Warzone 2, but at the end of the day, what do I enjoy out of Call of Duty? 6v6. And when it's not enough to keep me pushing into it and wanting to come back, it lacks for me. And I want to make it very clear, too, that I don't hate this game. I actually really enjoy Modern Warfare 2. But just because you love something doesn't mean that you can't get bored. You know what I'm saying? You can only play something so many times. And a lot of the best games out there, people put them down because, once again, they get tired of them. They will always remember them as a fantastic item, a fantastic, whatever it is that they love, they'll always remember it as fantastic. But sometimes it gets boring. Sometimes it gets repetitive, and sometimes you need to step back. And that's what this is going to do to me right now. I'm going to enjoy the overall Modern Warfare 2 experience, but because the grind is slowly lacking, I'm just going to obviously step back. I don't want to push forward. I don't want to, abuse the camos right now. And honestly, in 6v6, that's all there really is to grind. Since the beginning of time, you either grind it for level, you grind it for camos, or you just played Call of Duty to pub stomp. Or hang out with buddies too. People like to hang out with buddies, obviously, in Call of Duty. It's one of the best casual FPS games. Well, it used to be one of the best casual FPS games known to mankind. And of course, people grinded for challenges and to finish up all the calling cards and emblems. Of course, the list goes on. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that that's basically what you did. You either grinded for something, whether it was calling cards, a camo, you hung out with friends or pub stomped, or you grinded your rank. You wanted to prestige, you wanted to hit max rank. Those are pretty much the three categories that you're going to slip yourself into when it comes to a Call of Duty game. And typically in COD games, all three of those sectors are equally accepted. But in the past, 3-4 years, the rank system, the rank, group of people who enjoy grinding to max prestige have been absolutely hammered. It gets worse, a little bit better, then back to worse, maybe possibly a little bit better, then horribly worse. Honestly, I really think they need to strip this overall seasonal system from the game. Again, I already talked about this in the past, but seriously, prestiging is iconic because it puts you through a grind. Behind each prestige icon was hard work, a lot of effort, and meaning. Just like back in the day when, for Halo, for example, when you saw a really badass piece of armor, you knew that someone had to go through some crap to get that. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, it's completely opposite. The majority of the time, the grind is, either, like I said, you're going for camos, or you buy stuff from the store, you spend cash in their game to look really cool, or you just grind ranks, but in all reality, there's not much meaning behind the ranks. Now, I will agree, it is kind of nice being able to not have to restart all my weapons, but when I sit down and think about it, that's what made prestiging so exciting. You knew if you prestiged, you lose everything. That's why they always used to taunt you when you backed out of the prestige menu, because, it's a lot. You're giving up everything you worked for to reach max level 55, to reset for a prestige icon. But again, that's what put meaning behind those icons. When someone looked at a prestige icon in a lobby, they knew what the struggle was to get that. When people look at a prestige icon in lobbies now, they don't see the struggle that people went through to get that, because there is no struggle. It's based on the amount of time that you're basically going to put into that game, It needs more meaning. I need to feel something when it comes to rank, and they need to uncap it so I can grind as long as I want. I don't want to be parented when I play COD. I never had to be parented. I don't know if they're worried that people are going to finish grinding the game way too fast, but it seems that they bounced it pretty nicely back in the day, and even when people grinded throughout all the levels, they still played the game so consistently, non-stop. Because honestly, let's be real here. If you're grinding levels, like I said, you're resetting constantly. And yeah, you get prestige tokens to, maybe perma unlock a weapon, so every time you prestige, that gun will always be there. But at the end of the day, you're resetting every single time. So when you're done and you hit max prestige, you feel like the weights are finally off your shoulders. You can finally relax and play the game the way you want to play, basically. Just like how someone who camo grinds feels. Or just like how someone who, challenge or calling card or emblem grinds feel, They go out of their way, they go through struggles to achieve something, and then when they're done achieving it, it feels like weights are lifted off their shoulders. And that's what ranking used to feel like. It no longer feels that. There's absolutely zero emotion when it comes to leveling up in Call of Duty nowadays. It seriously needs a check out, because if not, I think it's just going to become, dead. Nobody's going to care about ranking anymore. The max prestige races and all that stuff you used to see back in the day, non-existent, because nobody cares about that specific category of COD anymore. And honestly, it's because I don't know, Activision, Infinity Ward, Treyarch. I'm going to blame Activision because they're the ones who implemented this seasonal system, and I guarantee that they forced the developers to keep the rank system so it matches the seasons. If they're the ones who have to hear that, I mean, my God, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. You can manage seasons without having to connect them to the rank. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, if you subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat me, there's two we do so, Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games, do it on Twitch, link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.